Oklahoma is taking legal action against drug makers for skyrocketing insulin prices. The state budget stalemate continues, and the state may be changing the process for future business contracts. This is the KGOU PM NewsBrief for Tuesday, May 14th. I'm Deborah Ashar. State Attorney General Gettner Drummond has filed a lawsuit against major diabetic drug manufacturers and pharmacy benefit managers. He alleges they violated the Oklahoma Consumer Protection Act by conspiring to raise the prices of diabetes drugs during the past 15 years. Drummond says the state has a high rate of diabetes, with about 11% of the population living with the disease. Millions more have pre-diabetes. He says many Oklahomans can no longer afford the life-saving medication due to the insulin pricing scheme. Oklahoma City voters may soon decide the future of a potential hotel tax increase. Stakeholders provided their take on the proposal at an Oklahoma City Council hearing today. We get details from Oklahoma Public Media Exchange's Anusha Fethapure.
People staying in Oklahoma City hotels or Airbnbs could soon have an increased bill. OKC's City Council will consider putting a hotel tax increase in front of voters soon. Before that, they held a public hearing on the proposed election. The proposal would raise the hotel tax from 5.5% to 9.25%. Much of the new revenue would go towards tourism development. Jason Clark is the general manager of the Ambassador Hotel in Midtown. He says the tax increase will help Oklahoma City appeal to visitors.
I think we have a chance to be better at promoting our city, promoting the strengths that we have to offer to large conventions and events that will in turn create jobs and bring taxes to our city for the good of us all.
City Council is expected to vote on the proposal next week. In Oklahoma City, I'm Anusha Fethapure.
Governor Kevin Stitt and legislative leaders met again Monday for the third time to negotiate a budget for fiscal year 2025. Oklahoma Voice reports they adjourned without an agreement. Stitt and House Speaker Charles McCall have been pushing for an income tax cut. Senate Pro Tem Greg Treat said he would not put the matter up to a vote.
Governor, I'm telling you, it's like I've told you since day one. You don't run the Senate chamber. I decide what goes up for a vote on the Senate floor in consultation with my caucus. I'm not going to sit here and give control of the Senate to the governor.
Would you do any kind of tax cut this year?
Yeah, grocery tax, $408 million.
But not an income tax.
Lawmakers approved a grocery tax cut earlier this year, but Treat says the state can't afford to cut more taxes. Legislative leaders and the governor are expected to reconvene on the matter. The budget needs to be finalized by the end of May when the session ends. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission is considering dropping so-called no-bid contracts. The move comes after Oklahoma State Auditor Cindy Byrd identified large-scale mismanagement of taxpayer money last month related to the practice. Oklahoma Public Media Exchange's Grayson Wheeler reports.
Competitive bidding is meant to ensure contract work is the most cost-effective use of taxpayer dollars for the state. The Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Services introduced a new set of rules in 2019 under which a company could secure a, quote, statewide contract and no longer be required to compete with other businesses to offer the lowest price. Since Byrd's audit report, state agencies haven't been sure whether contracts they made under those rules are valid. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission has identified 8 vendors they contracted with under the questionable rules. The commission is still working with at least 6 of those. Now, Commissioner Bob Anthony is moving to adopt the state auditor's policy on these types of contracts. He says he hopes to, quote, ensure unquestionable agency compliance with state statutes going forward. In Oklahoma City, I'm Grayson Wheeler.
You can find more Oklahoma news on our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU AM NewsBrief podcast. I'm Deborah Ashar.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, the host of Fresh Air. We bring you in-depth, long-form interviews with actors, directors, musicians, authors, journalists, and more. Listen to our Peabody Award-winning Fresh Air podcast from WHYY and NPR.